In three, two. All right, it's time to talk with our featured guest, Jordon Comstock. Jordon, how's it going, man?
Yo, dog, doing good, man. It's a new year. I'm pumped.
I know. I was right before we started recording. We were talking about like where did everything go? Like where did
Yeah, The,
2021?
the past 2 years, it's like, whoa, it's 2022. I thought we still were in 2020.
I know. That's all like
You
one
know?
year. It basically was one
Yeah,
year. Like,
it felt like 1 year. Yeah.
yeah. Hey man, it's been a minute. I had you on episode 115, like when we were like, I think our first year on this podcast.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a
And
while.
yeah, that title, if anybody wants to go listen to it, it's called "Who Else Is Sick of Dental Insurances?"
Fire the PPOs.
You know,
Yes.
has anything changed since then? Like, do you still feel that type of way against insurances?
Oh yeah, I don't think I ever will change my mindset there, because they suck and we all know it. And it's actually gotten worse, because if you think about, when was that? A few years ago, 2019. I don't even
Yeah.
know what year that was when we recorded that. Um, but it's gotten worse in regards to the discounts that practices are forced to take when they sign the dotted line of a PPO contract, and you add inflation, in that, and it makes, if you're signed up with a lot of PPOs, it makes running the practice even harder than it was a few years ago because of the inflation that's taking place now. It's crazy. I think just consumer inflation is close to like 7%. I looked the other day, and it was like 6.8%. But then we got wage inflation that's happening in the industry. I think that I heard a report that it was like 34-35% wage inflation, roughly, more or less. Don't quote me on that, but
Yeah,
that's something that I heard the other day.
man.
Things are getting crazy. So if you're participating with PPOs, you're definitely feeling the brunt of it because of the massive discounts, and the discounts keep increasing, right? The PPOs are forcing more and more practices to take bigger and deeper discounts. And in my opinion, it's no way to run a business. And if you think about it, Michael,
Mhm.
um, uh, if you think of like the PPO partnership, and I say that with air quotes because it's not really a partnership, but you're signing a contract similar to what you would do if you were in a partnership with somebody.
Mhm.
If you had a business partner that uh, jeopardized your patient or customer experience, hurt your cash flow, and destroyed your profit margins, would you keep them as a partner or even an employee, or fire their ass? Which one would it be?
Fire,
That's
man.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question I ask all the time, that kind of brings it into perspective for a lot of practice owners. Is often they think that they have to use a PPO to attract patients, which there may be some truth to that when you're starting a practice and things like that. But as you mature, it becomes a nuisance, right? It hurts your cash flow, hurts jeopardizes your patient experience, and your profit margins, which are three very important things in any type of business, whether it's a dental practice, or a software company, or a consulting firm, whatever type of business it is. Those
Mhm.
are kind of sacred components of the business, and if they're attacked, which insurance does that to these practices, that's kind of what happens. So yeah, my feelings are very similar to a few years ago.
Yeah. And you're right, man. A lot has changed. We recorded that in
Yeah.
2018. So like a lot
18,
has
yeah,
changed.
a lot has changed,
Yeah.
and more practices out there are becoming to get you they're becoming more serious about cutting out PPOs and scaling up membership plans, as their chosen method to help with that strategy of cutting out PPOs. So
Yeah.
it's a good time to do that. And if practices haven't, they should definitely consider it because of the business benefits it brings to the table. Even throughout the I call it the 20 what is it, what year was it, the 2020 COVID recession, right? Which we can say it's still happening.
Yeah.
um when practices were forced to shut down or, do minimum work, that was a huge blow to the industry. And practices with healthy subscription revenue from membership plans, um, we're able to have that healthy cash flow come in even during a time when things were shutting down, and it helped a lot of practices. So um, during any type of economic situation that the industry's put in, I've seen years of what membership programs do for practices in regards to cash flow and revenue optimization. They're just amazing tools and amazing strategy for a practice.
Yeah. So like, for example, would you recommend, or like, what have you seen? Would you recommend if like someone's starting out, they are already like 2-3 months open and they're like, man, Jordan, I'm struggling, right? Like I have a membership plan, I have all this going on, but I just need these people coming in, right? And
Sure.
the
Yeah.
best way is for me is like, let me sign up to some PPO insurances.
Sure.
Should they, or
Yeah. I mean, like from a startup perspective, is that kind of where you're looking at?
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. I always say, do whatever it takes to get the business off the ground and cash flowing. The key word is cash flowing, right?
Mhm.
Um, I would still choose wisely with the PPO contracts that you're in with, but most likely, I've started a business. Before Boom Cloud, I managed my dad's dental lab, which is very similar to, a dental office in regards to operations and market trends.
Mhm.
Um, the whether you're a mature practice or a startup practice, the first thing that you should be thinking about is cash flowing that business. And if you can do it lean and mean, then go for it. I know with some PPOs with the startup realm, um, it just causes bigger issues down the road. That is a personal decision based off of whoever's running the business, because running and starting up a business has its risks. It depends
Mhm.
on someone's risk tolerance, and their ability to market and grow their practice. So there's demographics that are so custom to a certain location, and if you haven't done your due diligence, on your location, then that's going to determine whether you should, uh, sign up for every PPO under the sun, or become a fee for service office. What I see a lot of trends happening is people becoming practices becoming hybrids, where they've signed up with a couple PPOs and then attract uninsured patients and even small businesses that have a good amount of employees, and getting them signed up on the membership plan. And you see kind of a hybrid approach. That's probably the safest approach,
Mhm.
in my opinion, and what I've seen out there and what most practices are doing currently. So they have a few PPOs, and then they're attracting uninsured patients, which is pretty standard. But then you get the aggressive practices that are maybe more mature in their life, in their maturity of the business, and then they start cutting out every PPO and focus on out of network membership type patients. So it really depends. There's so many variables with the risk tolerance, the demographics of the city and state that you're in. Um,
Mhm.
there's so much to look at there to say, hey, should I go membership only or PPO only, right? That there's a lot in that conversation. But what I would recommend for people starting up is to be hybrids. So that's kind of my answer there. Hopefully that gave you some clarity.
No, that's good. That's good. I hear that a lot too. Like people
Yeah.
becoming and being hybrids. When it comes to membership plans, then
Mhm.
guide us through this process, Jordan. Like talk to me and to the audience. Like, how can we create a successful membership plan where we just don't tire out? Like, I'm sure you've seen that a lot. Like some people create their
Yeah.
own and then they're like, all right, we got 10 people signing up. They get off this high and then they're like, oh, no, last year we got one person. And you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
how can it grow? How can we make it successful?
Yeah. So there's a couple of stages, right? If you're new to a membership program, and if those maybe don't know what a membership program is, think of it as an alternative to dental insurance. It's a subscription that patients pay directly to your practice, that involve benefits that you design. So think Amazon Prime, but for your patients, right?
Mhm.
Where they pay a monthly yearly subscription, and they get certain benefits that you design. So that's what a membership plan is, for those that are like, I'm not exactly sure what that is. And oftentimes people do get that mixed up with a cash discount plan.
Hmm.
Remember, there's some similarities. A cash discount plan is great, but it's missing a lot of special business components. The core thing is renewals and the predictable monthly or yearly revenue that you're going to get from the membership plan. So, and I know a lot of practices think, oh yeah, I have a membership plan. A patient comes in, they pay X amount to get a year of benefits and savings or discounts. And then once they come back in the next year, we renew them, right? That is what we call a cash discount plan. It's close to a membership plan. And the business benefits are drastically different between the two plans. So there's some
Between cash
clarity there.
discount and membership, you
Yeah.
said,
So
right?
yeah. So in cash discounts have been around for a long time. People have been doing them, forever in the dental industry. And they think it's a club or membership program, which has got some similarities. The big thing is missing is renewals and subscriptions. And that's very common what we see in the industry. So that's to hopefully give a little bit of a definition of what a membership plan is. But in regards to growing a membership program, to your question, so there's several ways to grow it. If you're starting a membership program from scratch, which majority of practices it's still new to them, which is kind of insane to me because I've been doing this for a while.
Mhm.
It's still new to a lot of practices. So if you're starting from scratch, what you need to do is understand your internal existing patients' demographics. Step one, right? So you need to understand how many uninsured patients and inactive patients that you have in your practice, if you're a mature practice, or even understand the local demographics. If you're a startup of, hey, how many local businesses are around me that most likely don't have or don't offer dental insurance as a benefit to their employees that I can start attracting and educating. But you need to understand your demographics. So you need to understand um, even down to the median income of the city and state you're in, right?
Mhm.
Those will be all beneficial in designing your membership plan, but that's for external stuff. So we'll focus on internal patients first.
Mhm.
Most practices use a practice management software that can give them that data, meaning they can see how many uninsured patients they have and who they are, and how many inactive patients they have and who they are. That's the first. After you set up a membership plan in your practice, and what that looks like is you're giving the patient is paying a $35 a month subscription or a $400 a year subscription to get benefits like cleanings, exams, x-rays, emergency exams, and some discounts like 15% off of a crown or dentures and things like that, right? So you want to
Mhm.
create the plan, and then you want to start educating your existing uninsured patient base and your inactive patient base on the benefits of joining your membership program. A lot of patients think they can't see the dentist if they don't have insurance, which we all know is false. That's not it's not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone can go see the dentist at any time for any reason. But for some reason, the insurance companies have done such a good job at saying you can't go see the dentist without one of our plans, right? Which is
Mhm.
silly. But that's the first step to get things off the ground. The second step is to attract external and potential patients in your local area, meaning local small businesses. I briefly mentioned that a little bit, but you want to, and you may even have existing patients that may be small business owners that have employees and a staff, right? That they're probably not giving some type of benefit program to dental. And if they are, it could be really, really bad if it's with some of the insurance carriers out there.
Mhm.
So, and if you think about it too, uh, the state of the country is employees kind of have the upper hand with all the inflation and the jobs that, at least I'm in a state where I'm in Utah, which is
Mhm.
the number one state in regards to employment. It's
Really?
awesome. But
Oh.
yeah, it's amazing here, but it's, as an employer, it's hard to attract employees because everybody's got great jobs, great benefits, right? So especially if you're a startup, which they're in Utah, we got a huge tech scene here. There's lots of startups that, you know, they're trying to attract employees. And if they're, you know, in the early stages of creating a company, it's really hard.
Yeah.
So, but businesses everywhere are experiencing this, where there's a labor shortage everywhere. And I know offices are feeling this. We hear it every day when they call in to check out our technology. One of their biggest issues they're dealing with right now is the lack of employees that they can find and retain. You know, and a lot of that comes down to learning how to attract employees, pay and benefits, right? That's why when you have a membership program installed into your practice and you're ready to promote, you can go to other local small businesses and give them a tool to retain and or attract employees to their business. So that would be my second tip to continue expanding a membership program is local small business, right? Attracting those guys, you know, because, you know, half of the United States, over half of the United States does not have dental insurance. And a lot of that has to do because over half the United States are work in a small business, right? So they don't provide those type of benefits. So that's what I would say, you know, second they do to continue growing it. You also have a segment of the market that is retired or getting ready to retire, that they lose their dental benefits, or if they go as an individual at a retirement age, you know, and try to go get an insurance plan, it's going to be really, really expensive for them. And if you think about it, those are the patients that need a lot of work done because they're aging and their teeth are wearing out and they need more maintenance.
Yeah.
Right. So that's another way to, obviously you can attract those types of patients internally that are already existing patients, but there's patients like that in your local area, everywhere you go. The 55 and up communities exist everywhere in most every state. I don't think I've ever been in a state that doesn't have a 55 and up community. You got places like that where you can market to and advertise to those types of people. And here's a stat for you. At the end of 2020, almost 30 million Americans retired earlier than planned, meaning they don't have dental benefits. They've lost the dental benefits. And that number keeps rising. So with I think we have like over 150, well, before this, we had over 150 million Americans that didn't have dental insurance coverage. And now it just added to that pool with the 30 million Americans that have retired early in 2020. And I believe that trend, I haven't looked at the Q4 of 2021 trends yet in regards to people retiring, but I'm sure that it's showing another large increase of that because we've got the baby boomer generation that's huge, that's starting to retire, right? And they're still alive. They need dental care, right?
Yeah.
Just because they're retired doesn't mean they're out of the market. They still need dental work done, and that's another market that I would be attracting all day, every day in regards to getting them signed up for membership programs. So that's how the three kind of components, how I would look at it in regards to continuing to grow a membership program. Because you're right. Some practices will go in, they'll get all excited and all hyped up about it, and they get initial traction with their membership plan. And then maybe the office manager changes, or maybe they get another shiny object, because most humans have shiny object syndrome, right? Where they find a new cool idea and then they go do that for a little bit and they switch, and then, you know, which is not the best strategy, but it happens.
Yeah.
It happens to all of us.
I get you. I get that all the time. But okay, so that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. And rewind a little bit. You mentioned the when you're creating your membership plan, some of the benefits to install in there, right? To create the package, to create the membership. In your data and like expertise and everything, what have you seen the best things to implement in a membership package?
Yeah, so I have I don't know if you're are you sharing the video to everybody, or is this just going to be audio too?
We can. You want me to share it? I can multiple participants.
No. Whatever you do. I was just I have several things here. Let me show you. in fact, that's one of my older slides, but yeah, I can show you some of the what's most common. Now, as membership programs have kind of evolved in the industry, there's several different strategies you can do. Let me pull this up real quick, and then I'll share my screen and I can talk about a couple of different things with you. Let's see.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah.
Where is
Because I
that
think that would be
slide?
like really beneficial to know like the best benefits we can offer people, and then the ones that you've seen not work so well, right? Where you're like, maybe we should stop offering this or putting it in the
Yeah.
package.
So this is actually extremely important. Let me see. Where's the Zoom? Share my screen. There she is. All right. You should see this now.
All right, we see it. And if anybody's listening on the podcast, it's going to be in the show notes below. You can just watch it on our YouTube.
Sweet. Yeah. So basically, this is a pretty basic example of what a membership program is, and the benefits. So all the bullet points are the benefits, but let's focus up top here in the area where it talks about pricing. And pricing is going to vary. And I'll show you guys some interesting stats on what we're finding the most successful practices are doing in pricing, and a formula that we've come up with to basically know that you're in the healthy zone of pricing.
Gotcha.
So basically, for yearly subscriptions, you're seeing an example is like $300 a year. On average, we're seeing in our platform between $350 and $400 per year now. When I started helping practices create membership programs, the popular subscription was $199. With inflation and the costs and just everything that's happened over the past 6 years, I don't think you want to be at $199 unless you're doing a discount only plan, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is what typically comes in a standard membership program or a membership pro fee plan, is a lot of people say in the industry. So a comprehensive exam, that could be 1 or 2, an annual exam, a emergency exam, 2 cleanings, 2 oral cancer screenings, 2 fluoride treatments, 4 bite wing x-rays, any individual x-rays needed through the year, right? Full mouth series of x-rays, 50% off 3D imaging, 15% off additional cleanings, dental sealants, fillings, core buildups, oral surgery, root canals, 10% off crowns, veneers, perio, dentures, partials, implants, $1,000 off Invisalign, and $300 off Zoom whitening. Now, all that can be customized, but that's pretty standard what we're seeing in the industry. If you're going to charge monthly, $30, $35 per patient per month is appropriate. Some practices will do a one-time enrollment fee, which is important because they can utilize that one-time transaction as a bonus to incentivize their team members to sign up patients. So I wouldn't go over a $99 one-time enrollment fee, meaning they're paying $30 a month plus $100 enrollment fee, right? I wouldn't go over $100, just because I've never seen
like $1,000 enrollment fee.
Yeah, it's just patients won't buy that, especially because like, that's just an enrollment fee. You're really gouging us. But 25, 35 to $50 for an enrollment fee is great. And if you can take a portion or all of that to incentivize your team members when they sign up membership patients, that's what I would suggest that fee's for. It's not a fee to make a bunch of revenue on. It's a fee to incentivize your team. That's how I would do it if I were running dental practice, and the practices that have incentivized their team that way are growing really well.
What have you seen, like, as far, or does it depend on the state, or like where it's like, hey, $30 enrollment fee, and then or no?
Yeah, it depends on the state. That's why I say anywhere from anything under $100 is good for an enrollment fee. A lot of people, I'd have to look at what the actual trends are with that. But just for me speaking, seeing what people are doing in plans, I'd say between $25 and $50 are pretty common to do enrollment fee.
Yeah, because that's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, and you want to, and again, the primary reason for that is to
Mhm.
compensate and motivate, incentivize your team that's helping you grow it. You don't want them thinking that they're growing it and or you're growing it, they are growing it for you, and there's no benefit for them. You want to have a win-win approach with your team because they are the ones that are going to be growing it on your behalf, right? I'm speaking to you, practice owners.
Mhm.
So you want to incentivize people. Plus, it's so fun to incentivize people when they achieve things that help your business, and give some bonuses or whatever you do. Some people will pool the enrollment fees and do like a company party each month, depending on how they've grown their membership plan. It just all depends on your culture, your style of running your business. But man, there's nothing more fun than rewarding an employee when they've helped your business grow.
Mhm.
That's just my mindset and how I think about it. It's fun.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
Oh, so I think that's brilliant. Like I never thought about doing that until right now. Like adding an
Yeah.
enrollment fee, something minimal, not like
Yeah.
$1,000, right?
No, no,
And
no.
then at the same time, like here's your first payment, or like this is how it's going to be throughout the year, right? And then
Yeah.
what have you had to take out from this list where you're like, oh, this didn't really perform or doesn't perform that well?
Yeah. So a lot of practices will, well, number one, when a membership program is not performing well, there's several reasons why.
Mhm.
Often the practice tends to overprice the membership plan. And so it all becomes pricing. In regards to benefits, I wouldn't say that a certain benefit, makes a program fail or not. There's some people that the practice that will offer certain unique benefits that none others do, and they probably have the same results, and they're trying to be unique and different, right? But they have the same results. So I wouldn't say like a benefit would make or break a plan. It all boils down to the pricing. And uh, obviously you shouldn't be price oriented. You should be value focused when you're selling these membership
Mm.
programs. And I have some tips there, but a lot of the times practices are price oriented when they're pitching a membership program to employ to a patient, which is great. I think obviously discounts have their place, but
Mhm.
when discounts are strategically talked about, they have their place, not just any type of discount. That's one reason why I do like membership programs, because it kind of puts it into a framework in regards to sales, right? When you're
Mhm.
selling a membership program to a patient. But a lot of the times practices will overprice a membership plan. That's typically what breaks it, because, and it all depends. There's no one price that works for the industry, right? It fluctuates from state to state, to city to city. There's so many details. If you're here's the reason. The other day, one of my customer success representatives came into my office, and they're like, I have a practice I'm working with. They're in a high or a low population, high poverty situation.
Mhm.
Uh, and they've priced their membership program like somebody in California, let's say, a higher, uh, a lot of places in California have a high fee, high
Mhm.
population, right?
Yeah.
So this practice is like, yeah, we just want to do what everyone else is doing, right? Not knowing your demographics will definitely make or break your membership program. So
Mm.
let me say this. I can show you. Let me switch here. I think I have another slide here. Yeah, right here. Um, I don't know if you can see this. This is
Yeah.
this is
Uh-huh.
can
We can see
I
it.
won't be able to present this because it's not a presentation, but it is valuable. Oh, there we go. Let's okay. So when I talk about demographics, it's really easy to find demographics, but our team has a formula that they use in the back end of Boom Cloud. So you want to know the population of your city, right? So this example here is a city here in Utah, Springville, Utah, which is a smallish city here in Utah. 33,000 people live in it.
Mhm.
The median age is 25. A lot of those people are still on their parents'
Yeah.
insurance, right?
Mhm.
So, but a lot of them in 6 months, they're they're going to be off and in the market for some type of insurance plan. which
Mhm.
could include dental, right? So, but if you look at this in Springville, Utah, their median income is $69,000 a year in annual income. And then you got the poverty level. You want to know these demographics no matter where you're at. This will help you price your membership program. So it's priced in a way where the average person can afford it in your city or county or whatever you're doing, or multiple counties, right? So
Mhm.
this is our insights here. We looked at the top 10 growth membership programs and the top 10 the practices that have the largest membership counts, meaning active patients on their membership program. We looked at all this data inside of the Boom Cloud platform, and we found that the most successful practices had a pricing range. I don't know if they did this on purpose. I don't think so. I think it happened on accident, and we found the trends, right? So we see
Mhm.
that uh, there's a pricing percentages from the median income of a city or state, right? So you want to think way when you're starting a membership program. It's strategic. This is a proven process right here, where between 0.3%, so not even a percent, to 5%, almost 6.6%. So not even a percent of the median income. So this is what's happening in the industry. The most successful practices price their membership program off of the median income of their city or county. And that percentage to get the pricing is between 0.3 and 0.5%, right? So in this example here, this practice, their sweet spot for price in their membership program, the range is anywhere from $207 a year to $386 a year in their subscription. Does that make sense? That's really what makes or break a membership program, is not knowing the demographics of your city or the counties that you're marketing to. If you don't know that, a lot of the times they're overpriced. So in this example of this customer success rep of mine that came to me and was all
Mhm.
stressed out wanting to help this practice, they said, we looked at the data here and said, these guys are way overpriced. The reason why they're not growing is because they're in a low population, a high poverty market, with the average or the median income was like $33,000 a year, and they were charging $400 a month for the membership program, right?
Yeah.
So priced out of that market, right? So that, I think, is the biggest thing that happened to practices, is they don't understand their demographics, where they're at. Now, most big cities, we found, if you're in a big city of a million, a population of a million or more, you can actually get away with like a 1% off of the median income of that potential patient base in the city,
Mhm.
right? So the bigger a city gets, you can bump up those percentages to increase the pricing. And because of the volume of people, you'll have enough of the people that are willing to pay the higher pricing to have a very successful membership program. So that's kind of how I think about it. And I look at it each day. My team is trained on researching demographics and understanding how to properly price a membership plan, whether it's a high poverty, low population demographic. You can still generate healthy recurring revenue if it's priced accordingly to the demographics. That would be the biggest issue in regards to not growing a
Yeah.
membership program.
But
Yeah.
man, this is
So
this is gold right
hopefully that
here.
gave you some.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, because so what we should be looking at is, I mean, like you said, the demographics, right? The median income, and then for
Yeah.
example, from that point on, it's always going to be between 3.3 to zero point 0.5, right? And then we want to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah, I would say with populations under a million, that's the standard. If it's a population of a million or more citizens in the population, you can be a little bit more aggressive. And I've seen with populations that have a million or plus, the range are 0.8 to 1.2% of the median income should be
Mhm.
what the pricing should be on a membership plan. Now, that is with a membership program that offers cleanings and exams. I mentioned earlier that there's discount only subscription membership plans that are
Mhm,
happening.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
And those typically are good for the low population, high poverty areas, because they need some type of discount. And what that looks like is a patient pays $20 a month, whatever I'm just making up a number here,
Yeah.
$20 a month, and they get 15 or 20% off of any procedure in the office. So there's no cleanings or anything included in that package, right? That's one thing that is happening in certain areas. I don't recommend that in all areas, but it is something that is a trend it's been trending upwards in certain areas. And the cool thing I do like about those types of plans is they're not tied to anybody's time, which
Mhm.
makes it 100% passive income for a practice. So it just, between those two trends, the membership, the traditional membership plan where there's exams and things attached to it that they get for free, and that's air quotes, I'm saying for free because it's included in the plan.
Yeah.
And then there's a discount only subscription plans that we're seeing that aren't tied to hygienist or doctor time, which results in that 100% passive income for the practice. So that's what I'm seeing. Those are the two things that we're seeing. And then obviously there's like perio plans, there's plans for children. There's lots of different scenarios out there that you can build for the practice, depending on your strategy and your demographics. That's the key, is the demographics. Like, for example, I'm here in Lehigh, where this is a huge tech scene. There's a lot of large tech companies here, from
Mhm.
Adobe to Podium. And then if you look at the dental space, there's a lot of dental tech companies, from Dental Intelligence to Boom Cloud. I got to throw us in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
To Weave. Weave is just, if you look at my window here, Weave is just across the highway here from me.
Wow.
So Solution reaches down the street. So in Lehigh, Utah, the median income is like 106K a year because of these big businesses coming in. And practices here can afford to, charge a higher a percentage to attract patients to their membership program. So it's all in the demographics. And if somebody says, oh yeah, this is what the average, and we used to do this, we learned the hard way because we had practices come to us from all over. We say, hey, this is what the average practice is doing on our platform,
Yeah.
which is great insight on my company and the average practice, what the average practice is doing. That's great insight. But what really matters is knowing your specific demographics. That, I think, is the key to success, the first key, right? And
Mhm.
then marketing. You got to marketing to those demographics, right? Are even, it's even more important to
Yeah.
drive growth. So there you
Yeah,
go.
no, I like what you said though. Like, we want to start off with the internal marketing, right? Like your own practice, checking it out, seeing all those people. When it comes to demographics, finding
Mhm.
all that out, how would you recommend we go about doing that?
There's lots of free resources online. If you just Google your city, your state, and demographics, you can see that. Now, not all of them will be extremely accurate. They may be 1 or 2 years behind. So maybe you can throw 10% on top of it or something.
Mhm.
But most likely there'll be enough to make a good decision in regards to pricing a membership plan. But there's all sorts of websites. In addition to that, there's fairhealthconsumer.org, which I think is a great resource. You can type your zip code in that website, and it's going to pull up the UCR fees, what you're going to charge out of network for uninsured patients.
Mhm.
And I would definitely use that, because a lot of practices, probably it's been 5 or 10 years and they haven't increased their pricing. Using fairhealthconsumer.org will help a practice understand in their zip code where their pricing should be at. And that site has done a lot of research on what's trending in a certain zip code. So I think that's another great resource to look at, to make sure that all of your services that you're offering are priced, at a healthy price point. Because I mean, when I managed my dad's dental lab, it seemed like practices never increase their pricing. That should be done every year. And we actually help a lot of a lot of practices in our platform. One of the services that our customer success team does is help the practice be strategic with demographics and the Fair Health Consumer website, understand how they should charge or increase their fees and their membership fees, right? Because they're all tied together.
Yeah.
But that's a resource that I would recommend. But Google is easy to use. You can type in your city and zip code and get in the word
Demographics.
demographics after it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty easy to find. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
I know lots of people don't have the time, and our team, when we're working with practices, to set up membership plans and on our platform, our team, they have a process they follow that gets all that information for them.
Yeah. I want to ask, what in your experience have you seen is like the wrong way to pitch a membership program to the internally to a patient and the right way?
I think the wrong way is to back to my point of focusing on price and in the words cheap or discount. I like the word savings. They essentially mean the same thing, savings and cheap or discount. But savings is, I think, a little bit more elegant in regards to your presentation. We help you save. You don't want to use the word discount or cheap because it makes you sound like a cheap office. And I would say for the most part, majority of offices aren't trying to attract those type of demographics. So I would say in regards to pitching it, that's wrong. One thing that a lot of practices do when they're presenting maybe treatment that a patient may need, they're not using the membership program to use contrast with in regards to saying, hey, if you sign up to our membership program today, you'll actually save 20% on this crown you need today. Would you like to sign up? Right. So a lot of practices forget to use it as a case acceptance tool, which with our data, we've seen that membership programs, when installed properly and presented properly in regards to case acceptance and treatment planning, patients tend to spend 3 times more with the practice when they become a member versus the non-members. So one of my favorite things about creating a membership program is creating predictable recurring revenue, which is a business model that every practice should shoot for, because cash flow is king in any type of business. And hopefully that sounds obvious, but if you want to go to Hawaii and you got a mature membership program, and it's pumping $40K a month, $50K a month into the practice, whether you do dentistry or not, that's the business model you should be shooting for, so that it's not all tied to your hands and you get worn out by the older you get running your practice. So that's kind of so that's the first thing why I like membership programs. The second thing is what I just said before that was the members spend 3 times more with the practice. When you install a membership program, you are enabling a better patient profile or a better patient persona, if you will, marketing speak here. So, meaning patients, we'll do, usually when I'm on a webinar or a live webinar, I ask a question, who has Amazon Prime? I'm guessing you do, Michael. Do you have Amazon Prime? Okay, so do I. When you became a member to Amazon, did you start getting a package on the porch every day like me?
Like every other, I had to like chill out about that actually, but every other month or so.
Yeah, this is called the membership effect. Most people, at least my wife, she's always getting packages. I say it's my package, but it's my wife. She's the one that's getting the packages. It's called the membership effect. Amazon did a case study as well and found that Amazon Prime members spent 2 times more than just a regular user on Amazon, right? So it's the membership effect. Members buy more because they feel like there's more in it for them and they're more committed to buy, right? And if you think about it on the dental side, we've done studies on this all the time. The membership program works even better in dentistry because a lot of people understand that they prioritize their healthcare. People want to be healthy. They understand that to live a quality life is a healthy life. And your teeth you use every day to speak, to smile, to eat. And if you have a problem with teeth, people are more motivated to spend money on their teeth, especially when they become a member of a membership program. So that's why we're seeing the 3 times more revenue spent with the practice when a patient becomes a member. So you get the recurring revenue, and then you get even more revenue because of that commitment that membership programs install in the patient's mindset.
Yeah.
So that's kind of two of my favorite things, of what membership programs do to practices.
Yeah, you're 100% right, man. That it really worked. I was like, I think about 2 months ago, one of our editors was like, "Hey, Mike, I know we do a lot of like that's all we do, right? It was interview dentists, talk about dentistry and stuff like that." He's like, "Do you know a dentist out in Oregon who can help me with a situation that I got going on, primarily if they have a membership plan?" And I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh snap, this guy knows about this stuff, like, and
Yeah.
I didn't know he was really." And so people are becoming a lot more aware of it. They want to be a part of it. And he signed up with he was actually a guest in our podcast. He signed up with that dentist and continued to work with him and stuff, and is continuing to, do a lot of
Yeah.
great things. But I thought that was interesting. It made me think like, man, like there's a lot of people out there who kind of need some type of membership, not only because the practice owner wants to start getting rid of insurance, right? Because if you
Yeah,
look at it, like
absolutely.
I like how another dentist put it and how you put it. It's like you're paying a marketing firm for they're taking a percentage of yours, not for a little bit, but forever, right? Like this is it until
Yeah,
you decide
sure.
to drop them. And so I was like, that's true. It's a marketing expense. So
PPOs, the insurance is a marketing expense. That's how I look at it.
yeah,
Look at all the write-offs that it's ridiculous how much. If I wish I could remember how much the average write-off is, but it's ridiculous. It makes me throw up.
you're
When I
making
hear
me
it
throw up. Yeah.
every time I hear it, I'm like barf. But
Yeah, it's a lot.
but yeah, to your point, patients are becoming more aware of membership programs in the dental industry. And on the other side of that, in regards to like selling your practices, people that future practice owners and maybe even DSOs are looking for practices that have a solid membership program. It's a business strategy that the DSOs and other people that are wanting to buy practices, they look at as a positive quality in a dental office to acquire. I know if I were to start up or even buy a dental practice myself, the requirement, well, if they don't have a membership program, that's the first thing I would install, because I know how much value that brings to on the business side of things, because predictable recurring revenue in regards to business valuation has a multiplier effect, versus one-time transactional revenue has a discounted effect when in regards to valuation. So that's another thing to keep in mind in the long term. If you're wanting to exit your practice, meaning sell it to somebody else, one way to increase the value tremendously is building a healthy membership program that automatically brings in revenue every month or every year, because of the multiplier effects of the recurring revenue that is installed.
That's good, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Jordon, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, wanted more information, wanted to know a little bit more about Boom Cloud and things like that, where can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so just go to boomcloud.com. That's our website. There's a ton of free resources on there. We've got a book you can download that talks about creating and growing a membership program. We have a ton of courses, from how to fire the PPOs and our PPOs the devil type courses that talk about cutting out strategies of working with insurance companies and installing membership programs. We've got the Boom Cloud University, that is a free course that talks about creating and growing a membership program. There's a lot of, I think we have like 6 modules or chapters, sections that have
like
multiple
units.
chapters. Yeah, there's tons, from membership basics to like legal contracts, what you need to have with a membership program, how to market it, how to manage it. There's lots of different components to a membership program. It goes a lot deeper than what most people probably initially think. But yeah, boomcloud.com. What I recommend, everyone go on there. There's pink button, or at least the time of this recording, there's a big pink button that says schedule a demo. If you do that, our team can do a more customized approach to what a membership program powered by Boom Cloud can do for your practice.
Awesome. So guys, that's all going to be in the show notes below, and definitely like take a look at your practice, right? Review it, see where you can be implementing this. I mean, I think it's kind of like social media a little bit. Like, it's not like you're not doing it. I think it's just like you're falling behind now. You know what I mean? By not doing it. It's so you need to get on board and start doing this. And I thought that was brilliant. Like you said, like have that small enrollment fee, incentivize that's so, and then everybody's happy. I mean, that was brilliant. So continue to do that. Yeah, continue to do that, guys. And if you have any questions or concerns, go in the show notes below. Definitely reach out to Jordon. Jordon, thank you for being with us, man. It was a pleasure. We'll hear from you soon.
Dude. Rock on.